here talking to Councilor McMahon about the issues in Toronto. Let's start out with a basic question. What challenges has your ward faced because of amalgamation?
Well, I think it's like any ward, you know, smaller was better. At the time, it was easier to manage, and so pre-amalgamation, it was great to have the little boroughs, and each borough in Toronto is unique, and you know, it's like our community council now, and I think it would have been a better form of governance.
What kind of challenges are faced within a larger council in terms of trying to have your voice heard for your ward?
Well, it's you know, some people can relate and some people can't. You know, the suburbs are totally different. In some ways, like a different country than the downtown wards. So, you know, for example, mechanical leaf collection is really important to people who live in Etobicoke, and the downtowners, my ward, would be shocked at that because that's not something that's so important to them, but bike lanes are. So, you know, it's trying to get everyone to think about each other's areas and to visit each other's areas and realize the difference in their city and how it's great.
What do you think are the benefits to an LRT within Scarborough or even your ward?
Well, it's cheaper, and the proposal is for more stops in the subway, and like any you know, at-grade transit, it's better for businesses because you're, you know, daydreaming out that streetcar window and you see some shops and you might hop on, hop off, and so those are the benefits.
How do you think we could have better dealt with the Toronto storm?
I think we did a really good job, but I think the one thing the city does not do well is communications. So we could be better, much better at that. You know, Toronto Hydro had no idea, you know, we all didn't have any idea about the volume of calls. So we had a 2-day session to revisit everything that went on with the ice storm, and we definitely know for next time to get maybe a viral kind of helpline instead of people waiting on the phone to Hydro for hours and hours on end. Some councillors were active. I was very active on Twitter and Facebook and also in my community. So I personally don't think I could have done more, but the city could have done better communications. But I think we did a good job.
We're coming up on the anniversary of a different large power outage, the flood that happened last summer. How do you think we're more prepared if something like that happens again this year than we were last year?
I think we need to continue to invest and focus on climate change mitigation measures, especially emergency measures, because these storms just all part and parcel of what we're facing at the times ahead. So I think we're getting better, but we still have a ways to go.
What kind of questions do you think have gone unanswered about the Toronto Island Airport?
Well, I mean, we've had endless debates about it, but we still are waiting. I mean, we just got, the city just got the master plan for the airport, which it had not had for years and years and years, which is very strange because most airports have a master plan. So the financing, there's still a lot of questions about the financing.
What exactly about the financing?
Who's paying for the $300 million in infrastructure upgrades? Because I don't feel comfortable putting that on the backs of taxpayers.
Who would you like to see pay for that?
The person who's proposing the expansion should be paying for that.
Has it been able to has the subcommittee been able to kind of negotiate with them about that?
So we don't do that. That's, you know, not at our level. But there hasn't been much acceptance to do that, it seems like.
What have they been proposing for payment? Have they been proposing?
That the city should be doing it.
What kind of effect do you foresee on an expansion to the airport having on the city in terms of financial and general, you know, like on residents and environmentally?
Well, it's a very complicated issue. I've already come out against the expansion, against allowing jets on the island airport. Definitely Porter is their prerogative to get jets, but they can fly them out of Lester B. Pearson like everyone else. I'm not interested in sole sourcing, doing any sole source deals, so if you open up to Porter, then WestJet and Air Canada want in too. And there's still tons of unanswered questions financially, environmentally as well. We're not sure where exactly the marine exclusion zones are going, and Transport Canada they don't have a plan for that. They haven't seen a plan for that. So a lot of unanswered questions still.
What would you like to see from the federal government in terms of support on?
I would like the tripartite agreement supported, and I feel that was a compromise, a huge compromise. It's zoned parkland, so we have one extreme, 100% parkland, or the airport as is. And I think it works well the way it is. I think people like it the way it is. It's a big compromise, and so I think we should just stick with the tripartite agreement.
This has been your first term in council, and you've definitely made your mark in terms of being on a number of committees. From someone who comes from a community organization background, how do you feel being a councillor has an effect on your opinion?
Well, I know how to fight for things and how to rally up support. I will say a big thing for me is it's quite black and white on the outside, and as a strong environmentalist, especially, I would have chained myself to any tree before it got removed, if it were going to be removed. But it's when you're in here, it's all gray, and we approve developments and changes to your home and whatnot that do affect trees, and there's a balance. So it's not as black and white in here.
Has the things like the storm and also the infestation of, I believe it's the longhorn?
Emerald ash borer.
Emerald ash borer beetle. What kind of strain is that putting on our tree canopy in terms of replenishment?
We're going to lose 860,000 ash trees. It's devastating to our tree canopy in the beach, especially. We have a geriatric tree canopy, and so I've been trying for years to get a tree captain for each street. So we do have some initiatives like that, adopted tree programs in parks, and Leslieville has a great adopted tree program project, Trinity Bellwoods. So we have to educate people more, with the leaf tree tours and things like that, and just really push for succession planting, but also succession stewardship of those new trees.
This has been Councillor Mary Marguerite McMahon. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. It's great. My pleasure.